Morning everybody, another week here at Well Sorted. Thought I'd do a little video for you today highlighting one of our FJ40 builds we got going. This one is a 67. It is basically a Restomod. It's got a diesel engine, got a bunch of suspension changes, so still in process, but thought it'd be kind of cool to show you guys what's going on. So we'll flip around. Here we go. Local customer here. This truck was basically bone stock when it came in fairly good condition, just a little bit of rust. And as we kind of started down the rebuild restoration path, the punch list kept growing longer. So you can see the truck's been painted. It is most of the way through wiring and plumbing. We're kind of still digging in under hood here. But let's start with the big action. The first part here is this truck is featuring the new Cummins R2.8 turbo diesel. So this is a crate motor from Cummins, great little package. We've installed a few of them now. It is about 165 horsepower and about 300 foot-pounds of torque. So in these little two-door smaller rigs, it's really an awesome setup. You can see it's kind of busy under here. This engine, even though it's a 4-cylinder, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a full turbo system on the passenger side. You've got an EGR system on top of it, so coolers and piping. On the driver's side, there's a throttle body, intake heater, and all that. So it ends up actually pretty wide. Looks kind of almost like a V8 from the front in the sense it's got two big things hanging off either side. So it's a close fit in here. We've crammed a lot in. We're doing a bunch of custom wiring because this truck has got a lot of accessories on it. The early trucks don't have power brakes, so we did this Hydro Boost setup with the Wilwood master cylinder. You can see that's all kind of custom built into the firewall here. The radiator is up front, but we also have to package the intercooler here. So you can see the radiator from a stock location is pushed back like 3-4 inches to make room for the intercooler and the air conditioning condenser up front. On the passenger side, it's kind of apart right now, but you can see down in here is the turbo, and the inlet, you can see really a bit of a black silicone elbow right down in there. That's going to come over to here, comes up to this pipe, and then we run right here kind of a stock airbox, so kind of give a classic look. But nestled under the airbox, we've got ARB air compressor. It's got dual lockers front and rear. This panel is where the vintage air unit passes through, so it's got all vintage air conditioning setup in it. Gonna have a lot of features in here. The overall dash plan is coming together. We're trying to keep this one really clean looking, so you can see the vintage air unit under the dash with the vents in the center. We've got controls right in the middle, so 3 knobs for vintage air and 2 buttons for seat heaters. It's gonna have a Dakota digital gauge display, so it's kind of a nice, clean, modern looking gauge with all integrated warning lights. So we're really trying to keep the dash clean and nice looking. We're going to be running Switch Pros switches with an 8 switch panel on the dash to control all the accessories. And then in the center, the tunnel goes in, then a center console with some radio and other bits kind of concealed in there. The steering column is a new unit from Flaming River, so it's got tilt control, makes it a little easier for the driver. We've got all custom seats, bucket seats on a handmade frame that goes in here to make the driving position a lot more comfortable. So very much kind of customized, modernized interior versus the original 67 trucks had basically a split bench. And if you're taller than about 5'10", it's really uncomfortable to drive. So kind of had to revise this whole setup inside. Some of the more action on this truck, we're doing a lot of suspension work in the front. So if you know Land Cruisers, that is definitely not stock. That is a coil spring suspension using parts from the 70 series Land Cruisers, which are built and sold overseas. So whole new front axle with radius arms, coil spring suspension, all kind of built into the FJ40 frame for us. And then over here on the driver's side, you can see now the steering box is in a different location than the stock FJ40. That is an FJ60 steering box relocated forward on the frame rail, so we'll have nice power steering setup using Toyota factory box. So pretty nice overall package. This one we're hoping probably fired up in the next month or so as we finish up the wiring here and get the plumbing dialed in. And then start shaking down the mechanical side of it. The painter's still working on the top and the bits that go around the top, the doors and the top itself. So we'll probably do a little topless driving while the weather's good, and then finish this thing up and get it ready for the owner to pick up. So pretty cool build. Keep an eye out for pictures on our Instagram. We'll do some more videos certainly as we get close to finish. Thanks for watching.